Hi Shogi fans, it's Hidetch. Today we're going to take a look at a game played between Hiroyuki MIURA and Akira Watanabe. It's a TV broadcast game in NHK Cup tournament in 2006. This one is pretty famous. It's a game where the situation reversed in an incredible way. Watanabe finally beat MIURA from a completely losing position, and it happened so mysteriously. We were all astonished watching it on the TV. So let's take a look at how that happened. So basically this game was a MIURA game. It's a bit different from the latest Joseki, but it's one of the Joseki lines of MIURA. Now Watanabe prepares for a night attack. MIURA's king is castled, and he goes with his climbing silver. White's king's castles. Now black starts the attack, pushes up the pawn to 3e, takes it, and sacrifices another pawn to 2d. It's something like a pawn gambit. White took it with the silver, so black can make a silver trade here. Bishop recaptures, and white immediately drops the silver to defend. Now the bishop folds back to a nice square on 4f, indirectly aiming the rook, and still attacking this way too. Now white drops a pawn and blocks the bishop, but it seems it's already a little bit good for black. Because he got a pawn, now he attacks on the 7th file, and white can't take it because black will drop the pawn to 7d. The knight will escape and attack the silver, but black will just ignore it and promote the pawn. So white can't take it, so he just moved the knight over to 8e, but black pulls back his silver, threatening to attack the knight. Now he takes the pawn, so black goes pawn to 8f, and white lost the knight. Pawn recaptures, but black calmly drops the pawn to 8g and defends. Now white is down material by one knight, so he has to find a way to keep attacking. He attacks the bishop and attacks again, but the bishop can now come to another nice square, 2f, threatening a bishop promotion. White blocks it with the silver, but black sacks his pawn on the 5th file, and then knight dropped to 6e, attacking the silver. A very good move sequence. Now silver has to escape, so the bishop can promote, and the rook moves away. Well, it's obviously good for black now. Black goes ahead and drops the silver, the gold escapes, and here black's only problem is that he doesn't have any pawn, so he floats the rook up. Try to get one pawn, bishop 1e, and black takes the pawn and attacking the silver. White dropped the pawn to 3c and defend. And now here black makes use of his right knight too. Almost all his pieces are active. Now white rips off the knight on 6e by the silver and drop it to 7f, but black can just take it with the gold, and pawn takes. And here, yes, black wants to take this pawn by the rook. Well, if he can do that, he's gonna easily win this game. But he can't take that now, because white's bishop will take this knight. So what MIURA did here is dropping the knight to 2f, which he just got from here, blocking the bishop's attack and simultaneously attacking the silver. So white takes the silver on 4d, horse takes back, and then white saves his silver and simultaneously attacks the horse. Horse 5c, and here white doesn't have any effective way of attacking, and his castle is too weak, so he has no choice but to defend. By dropping a piece and reinforcing his castle, horse moves away. Now this position is becoming hopeless for white. Black's horse is strong, and here the rook is mobile and the knights are active. And material balance, black is up by one knight. And if you look at white's pieces, the bishop is stuck in here doing nothing, rook is doing nothing, and he has only one gold and 3 pawns in his hand. But Watanabe doesn't give up and tries a very deliberate moves. First attacks the king's head and pushes up the 5th file pawn, a very interesting move. Well, black will have to take it by the rook, but then white pushes the 4th file pawn too. Actually it's blocking rook's protection to the knight, and it's a little bit difficult to reply to that, but he pulled back his horse and he's fine. And now white activates the rook. Black calmly drops the silver in defense. White keeps attacking that file. After the pawn sack, he takes this pawn and drops his only piece in his hand, the gold, to 7e. He's only attacking with the rook and the gold, only the 2 pieces, so MIURA just dropped the gold in defense. Now white makes another deliberate pawn drop to 5e. The rook is defending the knight here, so he can't take it. Gold takes, silver takes, and if black takes this pawn, it's all over for white. But here, Watanabe makes another interesting move. Pawn drop to 6f. Well, black cannot take it because gold drop, forking the rook and the horse. So he moves the horse, trying to take this pawn by the horse. Now Watanabe has nothing to do but just drop the gold to here, attacking the knight and also threatening to take this knight. But black calmly drops the gold to 2e. White takes the knight and black recaptures bishop to 2d. But well, pawn drop to 3e, shutting down bishop's diagonal. Now white attacks with the knight, but here black ignores it and finally takes the pawn on 7f. Knight takes the silver, but horse takes back, and white is almost losing. He makes desperate attack, but it's pointless. Not an effective attack. Now finally black could take the pawn on the 6 file too, and now black is still up by 1 knight. The horse is powerful, aiming at white's castle. Rook is mobile, and on the other hand, bishop's doing nothing, and rook's attack is meaningless. So black is winning here. But from here, Watanabe reversed the situation. It's unbelievable. First he moved the rook to here, threatening a silver drop, and here black dropped the pawn to 7e. Well, I think this is the first mistake he's made. He should have dropped pawn to 7f, maintaining his powerful horse attack to white's castle. And what is really difficult about playing shogi is, when you're in a good situation, you tend to play too safely because you want to maintain that advantage you have and make a mistake because of being too much sensitive to your opponent's attack. So that's what happened here. He dropped the pawn to 7e, and white makes another interesting pawn push to 5f. Black will have to take it, but then white offers the rook trade. Black declines, of course. But well, here he makes another interesting pawn attack, dropping to 6f, dropping his last pawn. Well, actually he could take it. He's gonna lose this pawn, but it's no problem, right? And he could also attack here, for instance like this. But well, as I've said, MIURA is beginning to play too safely here. He drops the gold to 7g. Not a very good move. Horse's protection on this gold is now off. White drops the silver. Rook moves to 4f and attacks the silver. But white ignores it and takes the pawn. Now black can't block it. So he takes the silver, but the rook promotes. And at this position, I think black should have taken this pawn, simultaneously defending the gold. But actually he moved the gold sideways, so white makes a dragon fork. Now black can only drop a silver to 3f, but white doesn't take the rook, of course, and he drops a pawn. And actually black's in trouble. He drops a pawn, ends up trying to exchange the rooks, but here white has a very good move. You see it? It's pawn promotion sack. Now if he takes it, white can take the horse in checks and then take the rook. So black can only take the dragon and loses the gold. And white drops the rook. Well, black should make an attack here, but for some reason black tried to defend by dropping another silver to his camp, dropping his 2 silvers to a non-issue point. Rook promotes and black defends by the horse, takes the lance, and now finally black got his turn to attack the bishop on 2d, but here white ignores that attack and drops the lance he just got to 7f. A very powerful attack. He can't drop any pawn. Well, I think black should have taken the bishop here, but he didn't do that and saved the gold to 6h. And this is a terrible mistake, because here Watanabe made a fabulous move. He moved his bishop that is being attacked by the knight, but it's not to here. Well, he took a pawn and sacrificed the bishop, and then dropped that pawn on a8. A threat made, and it's very difficult to remove. Black can only use major pieces, rook and bishop. So drop the bishop, but he doesn't take the bishop. He took the horse here and drop it to here. Black only has a rook to block, but now takes it. And then drop it to 5g, forking the silvers. Can't take the bishop because the rook is also aiming at this square. So here, Miura resigned. It was an incredible game. So hope you enjoyed the game and see you next time.